Welcome back to the Money and Wealth Show. I'm Sterling Fox. Our special guest this week, international tax expert David Ingram, president of Senta Business Services. And David, you pointed out already, we're on location in White Rock taping this show today because it's right close to the border, and we're talking major cross-border issues here. Back to the matter of Canadians who want to buy that dream property in the United States or Mexico. Does it make a difference if they buy a single detached home, a condominium, or a timeshare? Do the same rules apply equally, or are there different categories?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say nobody should buy a timeshare ever.
All right.
End of story.
But we know that some people have.
We need to talk. That's a whole different. I've got one lady client that's got 12 timeshares. She can't get rid of them. By the time she's finished, she's going to have lost $400,000 on them all.
But are they recognized differently in U.S. law?
Oh, yeah, they're different. And she's got timeshares in Mexico, Costa Rica, United States, and even in Canada, because you can buy a timeshare at Worcester, right?
Sure.
So, making a long story short, the reason I wanted to start the whole program off in making sure that people recognize that if they're going to rent the property out, they can't work on it, they can't do anything, because thousands of Canadians are going down to the States right now thinking they're going to get a big bargain.
Looking at that attractive, cheap real estate.
Well, it is cheap and it is attractive, but I'm going to make a comment to you. We're doing this in 2010. I don't know what day it's going to broadcast exactly, but the month right now is September.
Absolutely.
I'm actually recording this on my birthday for whatever it's worth. The fact is that because of ARMs, which are adjustable rate mortgages, real estate in the States, no matter what happens, has to keep on going down for 2 more years.
Yep.
And if you go into Google and you type Credit Suisse graph, you should come up with a wonderful graph showing you what's going to happen. And the ARMs, the adjustable rate mortgages, are coming due at a time when they've got people that could really pay them if they wanted to. But why would you have a renewable mortgage that's coming on at 6%, and it's a $600,000 mortgage, it's going to cost you $36,000 a year, when if you walk away from that house, you can go buy the same house for $300,000 and put a 6% on, it's only $18,000 a year.
Sure.
So people are walking away from their ARMs, right, left, and center. There was a good story on CNN where 2 medical doctors walked away from one in exactly the same situation. So if you're going down to the States to buy because you're going to use it for yourself, you're going to have a good product, got lots of choice right now, and it's yours. If you're going down to buy as an investment because real estate is cheap and you've convinced yourself that if I buy here, I'm going to fix it up,
flip it in a couple of years?
Flip it in 2 months. Half the people that go to do that are thinking of doing the work themselves. They'll take a couple, or they're my age, okay? They're an old skilled carpenter or whatever, and they're going to go down, buy this place, clean it all up, and make $50,000 on it. Remember what I said, it's a business property. They're going to sell it or they're going to rent it. They can't do a single thing to that property except hire other people to do it.
Okay.
As soon as you start hiring contractors and everything, maybe this flip's not going to look so good. Now, if you flip the property in the States is a little bit more sophisticated than Canada in this situation. They have long-term, short-term capital gains. If you have a short-term capital gain, like you bought this property and sold it 6 months later, or 11 months and 29 days later,
okay,
it's straight income. It may have been a capital gain, but it doesn't matter. It's straight income because you didn't hold it for more than a year. Hold it for more than a year, there is a capital gains lower tax rate, which may expire at the end of 2010 unless Obama does something about it. But the lower tax rate doesn't do you any good in Canada because Canada only gives you 50% of the capital gains tax you pay to the States as a credit, whereas they'll give you 100% of the tax you pay if you do a flip. So anybody that's going down to the States to buy and fix and sell or buy and sell, whatever they're going to do, that's straight income. Doesn't matter whether you do 1 unit or 10
a building,
units.
sure.
10 units.
David, we've talked about California, Hawaii, Arizona, Florida, all of these favorite snowbird destinations. Are the tax laws in these different jurisdictions radically different from each other, or is it one fits all?
No, very much different. California likely has the toughest income tax laws. In fact, California tax law now, for most people, is higher than BC tax law or Ontario tax law. New York state tax laws, New York state tax, higher than Toronto or Montreal.
Okay.
So the United States is not a low tax place anymore. The things that people that are going to buy investment real estate, where they're going to rent it out, have to understand is that in Arizona, for instance, if you just buy one condominium and you rent it out, you can just rent it out and that's it. If you have two that you rent out, you now have to collect the equivalent of about 9% property tax. Now,
okay.
it's 5% if you're renting it by the year, add another 4% if you're renting it by the month to Snowbirds or other people going down to, you're going to rent it to friends. And this is really a thing that catches, and Hawaii has the same thing. In Hawaii, it's called the general excise tax. We had a lady in West Vancouver lose her whole condominium because she'd never bothered collecting it. She rented it to friends in West Vancouver and Kerrisdale and so on. They would go down and use it. All the money changed hands in Canada. Took the Hawaii government 15 years to catch up to her. When they caught up to her, they had enough fines and penalties and so on that they just took the property.
So if you own a property in some little piece of paradise somewhere and you spend your 3 or 4 months of the year and you in that location, but then the rest of that year you send your friends and family members over for a nominal rental fee, that's considered a business property.
You got
and
it.
you're subject to business tax, even though basically you're doing favors for friends.
Yeah, but that particular kind of tax doesn't happen in Florida, doesn't happen in California. That's in Arizona and Hawaii.
Okay.
Okay. Now, but if you are renting that property, you're letting friends and relatives and employees use it, then it's a business property, so you can't paint, decorate, do anything to it. Again, remember? Now let's pretend you've done the property, you've had it for 15 years, now you're going to sell it. What do you pay for tax? Well, if you're in Florida, there's no state tax. If you're in Washington State, there's no state tax. Arizona, Texas, no state tax. New Hampshire, no state tax on that. Tennessee, no state tax. But what you do have is the other states all have a state tax return that you have to file. So in California, you would file your 540NR and you do the calculations and you're subject to AMT and you do your California return, you do your federal 1040NR, pay the capital gains tax to Canada or to the states, and then when you do your Canadian return, you get to claim 50% of the tax you paid to California states. Why only 50%? How much of a capital gain does Canada tax?
50%?
Right, so they say that since we're only taxing the capital gain 50%, we're only going to give you 50% of the tax that you paid on the whole thing to California and the states.
Let me take a quick break here because, boy, I'll tell you, and you just thought it was a great idea to go buy a nice, fun little spot in the sunshine and maybe fix up your friends a couple of times a year. Turns out it's a great idea, but it's a lot more complicated than it appears on the surface. Our special guest this week, international tax expert David Ingram. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc. Our project in Arizona is electrolytic manganese. We have a resource of 11 billion pounds, currently trading at $1.40 a pound. Our cost, 44 cents. For more information, go to our site at americanmanganeseinc.com or phone me direct at 604-531-9639. Hi, I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of Gold Ray Resources Corp. Our major project is in Shandong Province, China. It's a gold project with a 43101 resource. We're currently negotiating a $16.5 million US loan to take it into production at 1,500 tons per day. For more information, go to goldray.com or phone me directly at 604-531-9639. Hi, I'm Larry Ray, Chairman and CEO of Molycorp Gold Corp. Our major project in Nevada is magnesium. We have a 43101 resource of 52 billion pounds at $1.30 a pound. Do the math. Go to our website at molycorp.com or phone me direct at 604-531-9639.